Hello, and how are you? Today we're going to be talking sense guard. In this episode, we're going to be paying attention to the eyes and the ears. The reason we're paying attention to these two first is because they act as the window to the mind. The window is even small. They act as the gate to the mind. The way you feel, the things that occupy your thoughts are majorly dependent on the things that you feed your eyes and your ears with. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 4 from verse 20 to 24. Proverbs chapter 4 from verse 20 to 24. The Bible says, "My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." So if we're going to be guarding our heart, we are going to be guarding the gate to the heart, right? And at the gate we have the eyes and we have the ears. Whatever is able to penetrate through the eyes and ears will definitely find its way to the heart, to the mind, to the thoughts, to the emotions, to the feelings. So I'm going to be using social media as a major case study today, because that is like the main means of communication nowadays. I mean, you can be in your house and be meeting with 50 people thanks to social media. So if you are going to be guarding your eyes and your heart, you are going to have to pay attention to that major means of communication, major means of passage of information, and then see what it is that you have exposed yourself to thus far on your social media platforms. We have to be careful to not allow certain things into our hearts in the name of sentiment. Somebody was your friend in primary school, so you decide to follow him on Instagram. Did I point out that sometimes you do not even block these things out because they are bad in a general sense? I mean, a typical example is someone who's trying to lose weight and then goes ahead to follow every small chops account, and then you are following only you trying to lose weight, following small chops, following baker, following parfait maker, following chocolate seller, and you want to lose weight. Why are you flogging yourself? Why are you flogging yourself when you can actually do without the distractions? So I mean, it's not always bad stuff generally, but there are some things that are just not good for you at a particular point in time. Another example is someone who is trying to create a habit of saving, and this person knows that he or she is a jewelry freak. So you still have accounts on social media that you follow that sell jewelry, so you keep seeing their posts every day. Before you know it, the saving that you want to save, you're not able to save. Other examples that those of us who know our weaknesses and our strengths when it comes to sexuality, and for some reason we cannot block certain things from our social media platforms. You have friends who are models, or I don't know, maybe video vixens or something, and the kind of pictures that they put up does not help your life. But I don't know, you just find it difficult to mute their posts or to block them off out of that's because maybe you went to the same school or something. But you know how detrimental those posts are to your own life, and why punish yourself? Why punish yourself? And the way social media works is that it's from one post to 1,000 others. What I mean is, say if you shopped online before, you would understand what I mean. You click on a dress, and then you see other dresses. Before you know it, you're seeing shoes, and then now you're scrolling through pictures of shoes, and then after a while you're scrolling through pictures of hats. Then before you know it, you're seeing pictures of belts. Before you know it is makeup. Then you have forgotten that you even started from dresses in the first place. So if you have just in this instance now, if you have just blocked that dress account, it will not lead you to makeup. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, the very first point is the very point that should be blocked. The people who retweet porn on your timeline, and then because you don't want to be seen as uncool, and the person is somebody, maybe your cousin, it might even be your cousin, and thinks that it is right to retweet porn on the timeline, and because you are somehow still struggling with the level of discipline when it comes to being exposed to certain things, whenever those videos pop up, you decide to play them, and then you're back to square zero. When you can just click on one button and discard the entire thing. The fact that you're blocking or mute somebody does not mean that you hate them. No, it doesn't mean that you disrespect them. It just means that you consider your mind and your sanity important enough to blot out anything that would distort your thinking. It's as simple as that. You are trying to grow spiritually, and then most of the people you follow on maybe Facebook or whatever are people who are always insulting men of God. How do you want to grow without distraction when that's all that you see? I tell you why, you just say, whoa, all of us, Jesus should just come down. There's still no point. If they say this person is doing this thing, then what? Do you get what I'm saying? So you are going to have to be intentional about choosing the kind of content that you will expose yourself to. If anybody had told King David that you will be the cause of this Uriah's death, he will not die a normal death at the war zone. You are the one that will make him die at the war. You probably have laughed it off, like, what's this one saying? But look at how he became the cause of Uriah's death. The eyes. I mean, the eyes. He was supposed to be at the war front, and then he decided to take a break. See, those times that we decide to take a break and scroll through social media, those times are very, very crucial. Because the things that these eyes will see and these ears will hear sometimes can, in fact, it can lead us into mistakes that would take a lifetime to rectify. So how about we just take the step now? If there's anybody on your timeline whose posts would somehow, you know these people, you know these accounts, you know them, but I just don't know why we were usually sentimental when it comes to these things. Anybody on your timeline whose posts will drag you back or will stop you from growing altogether, or will not help you, or you can totally and completely do without, mute the posts, block them. A friend of mine was telling me 2 weeks ago that he had unfriended, was he a friend on block? I don't know. He had done something he didn't do it to me, he did it to my Facebook. I think he said he blocked me on Facebook or something, and I'm like, why? He said, you don't really post things there now, and then every day I'm seeing some people that do daily posts, they are doing, Aanu-Kolade was tagged in, Aanu-Kolade was tagged, and I'm not interested in them. He's just not interested. It's no fight. And I'm like, okay, when I start posting a lot, I'll let you know. It's as simple as that. Things that do not catch your interest, that do not help you, that things that are always at war with your spiritual life, are the things that you really want to expose. Is that really what you want to expose yourself to? We don't want to do that. We want to guard our hearts, and in guarding the heart, we are guarding the gates strongly, and the gates are these guys and these guys. So the kind of music we listen to, the kind of people that we follow, the kind of content that we expose ourselves to. Sometimes you say, it's just I'm not paying attention to it. I'll give you an instance. When I was in secondary school, like I said in the last video, I attended a public secondary school. So the prayers made on the assembly was, dependent on the teacher that was leading the prayer. So whenever the teacher was a Muslim, we prayed as Muslim. The teacher was Christian, we prayed as Christian. The teacher was black, we prayed as black. Our prayers were always dependent on the person that was leading the prayers. So of course, as a Christian that I was and am, I already made up my mind to switch off whenever the prayer was not something I could relate with, right? So I realized that at the end of the first term I spent in that school, the first term, not the first year, the first term I spent in the school, I could already say all the prayers by heart. I didn't know the meaning of the prayers. I just knew that I could say them. On top of all my switching off, I could still... Why? I was exposed to it so much that my mind had unconsciously retained information. So if you're saying that, I could have said that I'm not paying attention to it, but I was giving it my presence. It was not something I could avoid anyway. So if you're saying that I'm not giving any attention, I'm just there, but I'm not even listening. See, that's how we used to start. Now from clap, that's the start. If you want to cut it off completely. Attention or presence, do not give any of it. We want to guard our hearts with all diligence, so that whatever it is that flows from it is going to be godliness, righteousness, and everything that God expects of us. So we're going to be continuing on the second part of this particular topic, sense God, in the next video by the grace of God. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, and tell people about it as well. I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that I have been able to remind you of some things that you probably knew before and have forgotten. I'll be waiting to hear from you in the comment section. As always, take very good care of yourself and be good. Bye.